Welcome back to Down to Earth. Would you give your life to save a tree, to stop the construction of a dam or an airport? Environmental activists say yes, but it's a dangerous field out there. Their enemies include the mining industry, agribusiness, energy plants, hydroelectric dams, and wood smugglers, even governments or corporations, sometimes both. The fight can be deadly. 185 environmental activists were killed in 2015, 60% more than the year before. These men and women are the ones we know about. Countless others, however, are rotting in jail or plain missing. We have little information about environmental crimes in Africa, for example, where fights over land and resources are at the heart of many of the continent's conflicts. Saving the environment often means putting lives on the line. The shot that killed Berta Cáceres in March 2016 was heard around the world. The indigenous campaigner was defending Native people's rights to their land against a dam project and had received the prestigious Goldman Environmental Prize for her lifelong efforts. 40% of environmental activists killed belong to indigenous communities, and Cáceres' homeland, Honduras, is the deadliest in the world per capita for environmental activists. Her family blame industrial groups working hand in hand with the government for her death.
We want justice for my mother. The murderers must be punished with the full weight of the law.
No one is out of reach, not even those in elected office. Luiz Alberto Araújo from Brazil was killed just weeks ago, shot right outside his home in front of his wife and her children. Araújo was environment secretary on the city council in a town in the Amazon. He had exposed the operators of Belo Monte, Brazil's largest hydroelectric dam, after his team found masses of dead fish. So, who's standing up for these guys? Well, the International Criminal Court in The Hague recently widened its judicial authority to include perpetrators of environmental crimes. Guilty governments and multinationals should be shaking in their boots, but they're not. So, in the last few decades, new methods of resistance have appeared, more radical, more aggressive. These militants aren't afraid to use violence to get what they want, but the FBI isn't having it.
While we all respect nature and the importance of protecting this planet, these subjects stepped over the line in their zealous attempts to promote their political viewpoint.
Codename Operation Backfire. The targets? Eco-terrorists, who are described as those who commit sabotage intended to hinder activities that are considered damaging to the environment. The FBI is offering large rewards for information on members of a cell called the Family, including this woman, Josephine Sunshine Overacre, who's wanted for acquiring materials to make a bomb, as well as setting fire to a ski resort, known as the worst eco-related arson in history. So, is it worth risking one's life or even jail time for one's environmental ideals?
If we would take the laws that exist today to defend the ocean, if these laws were actually enforced, we would have a very different situation. We would have a much wealthier ocean. The problem is that the laws are not respected. There is no political and economical will to make these laws as a reality at sea. It was the day after Christmas, and we were looking for the factory ship of the whaling fleet. And finally, we found it on the day where the swell was very high. It was like 8 meters, and far from everything. And we found that factory ship that was 8,000 tons, which is 10 times more than what we were. And we were like, okay, well, right now the collision course makes it like the collision will be in 2 minutes. In that frozen water, far from everything, we had approximately 1 minute to stay alive in water, really. And at the very last moment, the captain of the Nishin Maru decided to change course. and we were 45 people on board that day. The 45 of us would have died instantly. We value life over everything else. We risk our lives for lives, and there are a lot of people who risk their lives for money or for fun or for religions or for many other things that are, in my opinion, less valuable than life. Saving the ocean is also saving humankind.
Indeed, environmental activism can have an impact. Here in France, plans for a dam at Sivens were dropped after protesters occupied the site for months and a young man was killed by accidental police fire, prompting the government to back down. And the license to build another dam in Brazil's Amazon was suspended after sustained efforts by the Munduruku people, encouraging environmental activists to keep on fighting.